Hey guys, so I'm here with my reading update video, and this is probably going to be the shortest one that I've ever done, and that is because over the last 2 weeks I have only managed to read 2 books. Yeah, I've not been reading that much, but I was originally going to wait and sort of push this video off until next week, but I'm really trying to stick to a schedule with my videos so I post them on a regular basis. So, both books were by the same author and part of the same series. And the first book I read was Dark Days by Derek Landy. This is book 4 in the Skullduggery Pleasant series. There will be 9 books in this series, and Derek Landy has broken them up into 3 sets of trilogies. So this is the start of the second trilogy. That sounds confusing, I know, but yeah. Anyway, so this is the 4th book, and you can definitely feel a shift in the series. It seems much more darker, and I've said this I don't know how many times, but I guess I can repeat it one more time. This is not a series that is just for little kids. Yes, it's considered middle grade, but some of the things that happen in these books, especially in the next book, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, is very dark, very intense, and definitely suited for adults who like adventure stories. And this book takes place a couple months after the events of The Faceless Ones, which is book 3, and Valkyrie spends the first part of the book attempting to get Skullduggery back, who got sucked into a parallel universe at the end of the last book. Yeah, this book is pretty much about secrets. Everybody seems to be keeping secrets from each other, and yeah, the bad guys seem to be getting much more gruesome, and the humor, which was so prevalent in the first 3 books, it's still there, but there's much more focus on the action and the storyline. And yeah, so I absolutely love this series. This was another fantastic read. Um, it was my favorite book of the series so far up to this point. So I gave it 6 stars, and it's just an amazing series, and unfortunately not very many people know of it in the United States, but it's definitely worth checking out. And the other book that I read, this is the one that took me almost 10 days to read, and I just finished it last night, and it is book 5 in the Skullduggery Pleasant series, Mortal Coil. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin with this book. I thought Dark Days was amazing. This book blew that book out of the water. This was definitely the darkest, definitely the most intense, the most unsettling of the books in the series so far. This book reminded me a lot of sort of an Invasion of the Body Snatchers type of book. Also, the movie The Thing, the original version that came out in the 70s with Kurt Russell, where like this alien would go inside a human's body, and they sort of didn't know who was possessed and who wasn't, and they didn't know who they could trust. This sort of happens in this book, where these beings called remnants are set loose, sort of accidentally on purpose, and take over people one by one. And this whole sort of inner circle of Skullduggery Pleasant and the people working for the sanctuary in Ireland, they begin to get taken over one by one, and sometimes you can't tell who's being possessed and who isn't. There were scenes in this book that literally freaked me out. I do not get scared. I do not get unsettled while reading books or watching movies normally, but I am surprised that this book did not cause me to have nightmares. There was one scene in particular which didn't really have anything to do with the remnants, but without giving too much away, it involved Valkyrie dying, and she was being experimented on. She was dead, but she was still conscious, and she was still there. They took her organs out, and they like sort of lined them up. Her heart was sitting right next to her on a table. It was just so unsettling and unnerving, and it just literally made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. And I'm again reading this book, I'm thinking, people think this is for little kids. I have to get past that. But yeah, this book was just unbelievably amazing. It is, again, it seems like every book that I read in the series, it becomes my new favorite, but this book, hands down, was the best book in the series, and it's just fantastic. Yeah, this book was so intense that I have to force myself to take a break from the series for a little while. So I'm actually going to go and read something different before reading the rest of the books that I have in the series. But yeah. As for what I'm going to read next, I really don't know. I just filmed a book haul video, and I said there was a possibility between this book, which is called The Endgames, and then another book, which I just got, which is called The Gates by John Connolly. Those are my two picks right now as to what I'm going to read next, but after that, it's anybody's guess. I'm on vacation, so hopefully I'll be able to get some reading done. And hopefully some of the enormous amount of stress that's been on my shoulders for the last week or so will start to ease a bit. So yeah. So until next time, you guys, hopefully my next reading update will be a little bit more entertaining. But yeah, so as always, thank you so much for watching. Hello to all my new subscribers. Thanks for finding me and sticking around and for watching my videos. And until next time, I will talk to you later, guys, and happy reading.